Hello and welcome to the Books Crypto Club catch-up on Zoom. It's Sunday, the 21st of November, 2021. And today we're going to be talking about and listening to people talking about cryptocurrencies, blockchain, DeFi, NFTs, ICOs, STOs, any other combination of letters really in this space. The sessions are totally open to whoever comes along. So we end up talking about whatever really. Do remember, as the YouTubers say, click on that subscribe, the like, smash that notify button, or even better, come along to a future session and come and listen and join in to the conversation. Anyway, let's see who's going to come and join us today. Ellen, hello.
It's my cat who also wants to.
Is she a crypto cat?
No.
She's saying, oh, forget all these dog coins. Time we have some
exactly.
Time we have some cat coins instead.
I do have some Shiba Inu because, well, you never know.
Yeah. Well, Shiba kind of rocketed up for a while, didn't it? I was taking a look at it earlier. It seems to have stabilized again.
Well, yeah, because I bought some.
Well, I think didn't we agree a few weeks ago that you should tell us what it is you're buying and selling so that everyone else can do the opposite?
Yeah, no, I should have. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to take a look at Shiba actually.
I only got like $17, and this is just from Coin Wallet. Is it where you can do the courses, the courses, and you get $3 worth of tokens, and I just switched them all into Shiba. So it's, you know, if it goes down to zero,
You've not lost.
I've only wasted a few minutes really.
Okay.
Of my time.
I don't know. Can you see the chart at the moment, or is it still showing the picture?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. See, that seems to have it had this nice hike here where it rocketed up for a while, then dropped away again. So
I think I did buy it probably in October. So it's not me that caused any downturns this time.
Yeah, well, it looks like it kind of settled down for a while after October. And then it went through a period of dropping away and then had this sudden peak.
Yeah.
So maybe Elon tweeted something around here or something.
Oh, yes, he might have done. Yes. Yeah.
No.
It's, yeah. I mean, if anything under $100, if it goes down to zero, I don't really care as much. I did in the beginning, a tenner down was like drama, but you become so desensitized to it.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, I think that's the thing, that you eventually learn to not worry too much about these things.
No, it goes down. Next week it goes up. And in my first 2 weeks of trading, which was January this year, I had a massive spike and a massive dump. And back then I was really worried. And now, you know, I just know, oh, my tokens are down. Oh, let's check Bitcoin. Oh, it's Bitcoin, so it's down. Oh, it's fine. It will go back up.
Yeah, or alternatively, the tokens have gone down and Bitcoin has gone up, and they kind of balance each other out in some way.
Yeah,
nothing to worry about then. So,
no.
So, have you been looking at what's been going on in the market the last week or so?
No, not really. Well, I know Bitcoin went down a bit, and yes, my portfolio went down a lot.
Okay.
But this is completely unrelated to Bitcoin because I told you I was hacked.
Ah, really?
Yeah. I got my my MetaMask got hacked, and they took everything out of my Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum wallet, but 80% of my tokens is in long-term staking contracts that take a week to unstake. So that was my saving grace, I think. But PancakeSwap, they took about $500 worth of cake.
Wow.
And I had quite a few $1,000s in my account that I was using to buy the dip. And that's all gone. So yeah.
So have you worked out how it was they managed to hack your MetaMask account?
At first, because I was having to transfer Ethereum from Binance Smart Chain to the Ethereum chain on MetaMask, and I quickly Googled like bridging, blah blah blah. Clicked on the first thing I saw, and I thought that was it, but it wasn't. It was the official Binance account, and I verified it and I checked, and it had like you know, a couple of transactions a minute, and there was the real Binance account. So that wasn't it. But stupidly, and if you're recording this, let this be a lesson to all. I had a lot of problems installing a token into MetaMask. And so I uninstalled my account and I reinstalled it. And I gave my husband the seed phrase and he emailed it to me.
Okay.
And 3 hours later, all the hacking happened. So I think that's he must have been hacked, or I must have been hacked. So what I did straight away was I bought a hardware wallet, a Ledger wallet, that came Saturday morning. Totally confused. How does it work? It didn't make any sense, but I found a really good YouTube video where they explained how you could import your old seed phrase into the Ledger, and then you create a completely new account on MetaMask, and it's almost like your wallet address has a new seed phrase.
Okay.
Because if you click on, so my Nano S Ledger works really well with MetaMask. I don't know if you use MetaMask, but yeah, it's all connected, but the seed phrase is actually different.
Okay.
Which is very strange. But yeah, so I finally, after that was all set up, I had the courage again to check all my stake contracts, and everything is still there. And then I put about $15. I transferred from Binance $15 worth of BNB into my compromised wallet, and it's still there. And I know of other people who've been hacked. They were hacked, and people installed some sort of script that the moment the token hit their wallet, it was transferred out. So I'm mildly optimistic that my staked contracts are safe at the moment. And that was 80%. So yeah, I might have lost about 3,500 at the moment. So, you know, but then I gained about 2,000 last week. So it's in perspective. I think a year ago I would have been suicidal. Now I'm like, thank God most of it is safe and I can build up again.
It's just a lesson learned, I guess.
Oh my God. And I mentioned, I thought before, I really need to get a hardware wallet. And although I kind of work in automation and I'm reasonably tech savvy, anything that I have to install and that has, you know, I get so frustrated with it. So I've been putting it off, but maybe this is, oh, look at it. Maybe this is like a lesson, like, you know, yes, if it had happened maybe 6 months down the line and I would have had a lot more money in there, it would have been a lot worse. So
I think that's why it can be useful sometimes to have the experience of being hacked when you haven't got a large amount in, because it's a good way of learning before you do.
For me, it was a large amount, but I guess for other crypto traders, it's peanuts, really.
Yeah, I saw an interesting one the other day. There was somebody who had been hacked in the States, and they were actually on a TV report. So they were being interviewed by a TV channel about this hack, and these were people who were describing themselves as savvy crypto investors who've been doing this for years, who were hacked through what was actually a phishing scam. So they had an email, you know, the kind of, it wasn't Coinbase, but the kind of like this is Coinbase, you need to change your account, blah, blah, blah. And they fell for it. And they had over $1 million in the exchange wallet account. Yeah. And I thought, that's just crazy for somebody who's claiming to be knowledgeable and experienced to first of all have $1 million on a exchange wallet. Yeah, was just insane. Yeah. And then the fact they got hacked and how they were hacked, it was almost embarrassingly basic that, you know, they'd had this email to say, please log in to change your account details, and they'd fallen for it. But what was then made even worse was on the TV report, they showed screens of their wallet Now, admittedly, it didn't show the wallet address, but it showed the transaction amounts, and they said exactly which crypto coins had been hacked. And then they were complaining that whoever it was with, whether it was with Binance or Coinbase or whatever, that they weren't being particularly responsive to this issue. And I was thinking, well, if I was a hacker, you've now shown me some of the transactions on that screen because it was on the TV program. I can now get in touch with you with another email to say, hello, it's Binance here. We realise we've given you a really we've given you a really bad service. To verify that this is the legitimate Binance account, let us just list off the last 3 transactions you did. They could give them because they're all on TV. And this guy's going to get suckered again. I was like, damn, man. So.
I have to say, I've made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. You're on Telegram and you get like a message, oh, the IDO is now live. You've been whitelisted. I did fall for one of those. I did also there was like a super farming contract where you could triple your BNB in 3 weeks. But I just missed out. A lot of people made money, and just when it was my turn to collect it's like a pyramid scheme. I knew that, and stupidly I still did it. And the worst one was kickpads. I all of a sudden it went from $4.50 to about 2 cents, which it is now, because the developers, people just lost interest, and nothing's been happening.
And they just pulled it.
Yeah, kind of did. Yeah, they haven't sent a tweet for about 3 or 4 months, so nothing's going to happen with it anymore. And that, of course, that can happen. I also could have made $16,000 on FEG, which is a shit coin. I pulled out too early. I made a few $100s, but if I'd left it, it would have been I could have made $8 into 16,000. So
you never really know these things, though.
No.
The favorite one I get all the time is invariably I get this through social media, where someone will get in touch with me, whether it's via WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, or whatever, and it always starts off, the conversation is always exactly the same. Hi, how are you? Where are you? What do you do? Blah 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 blah. And then eventually they'll try and sell you this, can't be beaten exclusive deal, where if they look after my crypto, they will pay me. It's something like some are talking like you can make 5% per day or 10% per day or higher. And for a while, I used to play along, and I used to send the messages saying, making 10% a day, that's incredible, but is it safe? And you'd always get the, it's perfectly safe, blah, blah. But is it guaranteed I'm definitely going to make 10%? Easily, no problem at all. Just send $500 and we'll make 10%. And I got to the point where I'd get them to confirm several times that this was absolutely guaranteed, absolutely safe, that I would make 10% per day. And then I'd send them a note back to say, well, actually, I can't afford it at the moment. Can you lend me the money? And then with the 10% per day I make, I'll pay you back. That way you're making more money and I'm making money. And I always get the thing back then of, are you being serious? It's like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. You lend me the money. You've told me it's guaranteed to work. So you're protected and everything.
But if it's guaranteed to work, why don't they do it for themselves?
Exactly right.
You become incredibly skeptical, because once there was like a token address. I really wanted to buy this token and I couldn't find it yet, and I had the token address, and that's the one, because you type it in on the Binance scanner or whatever it is, and it was like, well, of course, the wrong contract, but very, very few differences between the real contracts. So I don't know how they did that, but you become more and more skeptical. I just don't do it anymore. I only go for IDOs. I don't get, if someone says, the next 1000x coin is, I'm like, I'm not interested. I just stick to my launch pads. I got one that has a guaranteed allocation, and I just go this way. And that's the only safe way, except of course if you have to bridge and ask your husband to send you the seed phrase, because that's the only thing I can think of, that because there was 3 or 4 hours delay between it. So I guess someone hacked and sold seed phrase onto some. Yeah.
Well, this is where it depends upon who your email provider is as well.
Yeah.
So it could be it's been hacked at that point. Yeah. So Gmail is kind of notorious that people have quite often got scripts running to keep an eye out for this kind of thing. Or it'll be a virus that's on your computer that's watching out for these things. But yeah, as soon as you email it, you've got the other problem as well. That there are different techniques for even intercepting emails and that some people try. And the other one that became very popular for a while as well is using a technique called is it homomorphic web addresses. I think it's homomorphic. So what they do is if you've got something like www.binance.com, well, you can do the obvious thing that you can create a website which is Binance spelled B1nance.com, and most people don't. But what's really, really clever is if you used alternative character sets, then you can use something that looks like an I, but it's actually got like an acute on it or a gove or whatever. And when you look at it, it looks like it's Binance.com, but it's actually B I acute Nance. And the number of people who've fallen for those as well, it's quite sneaky, because you look at it and you think that looks real.
Yeah.
So you should always type website addresses yourself.
Yeah, I have a course through work every year where we get tested on our knowledge of phishing, scam, and fake email. And although I work in the automation team, the number of times I get it wrong, like, is this safe or is this genuine or fake? The number of times I get it wrong is unbelievable. But you become like, I had this this check here that was sent to me from HMRC, and
don't show it.
No, it's fine. Can they do any? Well, I can't even cash it because my official initial is different than this, and the national insurance number is wrong. But so straight away I think, oh, this is a scam. And then my husband says, well, how can you paying in a check? But I don't trust it. How can they get this so wrong? The wrong first initial and the wrong national insurance number, but the right address. And it is definitely HMRC because I can see the telephone number. You become so skeptical. Everything, in my opinion, is a scam unless proven otherwise.
That is my default. And I used to do I used to do the same phishing quizzes each year, as you say, that companies send round. And without fail, if you basically said, that's a scam, that's a scam, that's a scam, you'd probably be about right, to be honest. Definitely. But you're right. It's even things like telephone numbers that you get it these days, that it's relatively easy to spoof a telephone number. So it looks like it's coming from one number, but it actually isn't. So it might say something like, calling from your doctor's surgery or Gary's number or whatever, and all that's fake as well. So I tend to treat anything as fake until proved otherwise.
Yeah, but you kind of have to. You can't trust anything anymore. They're all out to get you. That's how I see it.
Well, I've got it as well. I mean, I was running a few panels a few weeks ago for an insurance conference in the States, and it was actually about cyber insurance. And so they've got all sorts of experiences of hacks going on, ransomware attacks going on, this kind of thing. So you realize just how much of it's going on, and you realize how easy it is for people to fall for it. And I'm sure myself included, everyone falls for things every so often. So it's just a matter of being careful.
But to go back to, so I got myself a hardware wallet, then I tried to install it on my work laptop where I had all my crypto, and it needed admin approval. So I called my friend who's head of IT of the company. I said, "How can you just?" He said, "No, you're not allowed to." So I had to get myself another laptop as well. I got myself the cheapest laptop that had the right specs. And so that's just a laptop that I will literally only use for crypto and nothing else. So there won't be any emails, nothing. So I'm mildly confident that the rest of my funds are safe, but I'm still wary.
Yep. Yeah.
And of course, you can't get the answer if you type anything in. And if you ask MetaMask help desk and the Ledger help desk, like, is it safe? No one can give you an answer because they just don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
Because scammers are getting cleverer by the minute.
Yeah, exactly. They'll always come up with new ways of doing things, and that's why I think this is why I choose. This is part of the reason why I set this group up originally, was just to help people to become a little bit more aware of what some of the risks are and what they have to watch out for. And as you have done, once you get more than a certain amount in crypto, then go and get a hardware wallet, where you can take it offline. But even with that, I know people who've got a hardware wallet, whether it's a Nano or a Trezor or whatever else, and they go and stick it in the safe. And I know some companies who do this. They stick it in a safe, which is in a vault, which is in an underground bunker in Zurich, which is surrounded by security guards. But they've printed the seed phrase out in a Word document and emailed it to somebody.
Like me. I had a photo. I took a photo, sent it to my husband, saying, "Keep this safe." And it said it had BSC Meta. I had another one. I got a Velos wallet as well. I need to remove that from everywhere and write it down. But then I'm worried that I'm going to lose where I've written it down. So I've written it down in the cover of my Ledger wallet, which I'm going to keep that then safe and never chuck it. And hopefully I won't lose it.
Okay. It's one of those problems as well, that the convenience factor of what you have. Security is always a difficult balance between convenience and security, because you can make something very secure, but it makes it so inconvenient that you don't do it anyway. I go at the moment, one of the projects I've been looking at, where you have to use a 24-character password, and it's like, that's just such a complete. And actually, I'm not actually worried about being hacked. I'm worried about forgetting the 24-character password. Because the end result will be the same, that you would lose access to the system or to the funds or
absolutely,
whatever. So, definitely things to watch out for. So.
Absolutely. So I need to. Well, I've learned a lot this week. Let's put it this way.
That's good. And hopefully, if anyone is watching the video of this afterwards, they'll learn a few things as well. Because I know when I used to run this meeting in the physical world,
that'd be good.
and somebody used to come along, and he lost, I think it was 8 Bitcoin at one point. Now, Bitcoin wasn't worth as much as it is now then, but nonetheless, if you think about, Bitcoin's, what is it, $57,000, $60,000 at the moment, and he lost 8, so a substantial amount.
It's a house.
And he lost that. That was through a phishing scam. So that was a classic one where he had an email saying, "Hi, it's Coinbase, Binance, whatever it was. We're updating our security policy. Please log in here, blah, blah, blah." And he said it all looked completely legitimate. He went through on it, and he said it was one of the few times where I actually clicked on the link rather than typing in the website address. Clicked on the link, went through all the prompts, everything like that. And he left he did the new security thing, and he said, "Oh, validation has failed, whatever, locked out of accounts." He said, "Oh, that's interesting." And he went away for 20 minutes, and he came back, and then he logged in with his actually typing in the details, and he was locked out of his account. I thought, "Oh, why am I locked out?" And then he took a look on the blockchain. I think it was on the Ethereum block. Oh, sorry, no, it was on the Bitcoin blockchain. And he looked at a Bitcoin blockchain explorer, and he could see transactions coming out of his wallet there and there. And it's like, what's
like
going on type thing. Yeah. And so he had to get in touch with his wallet provider and say, I think I've been hacked, blah, blah, blah. And eventually they drained a total of, I think it was eight Bitcoin out, and possibly some other crypto that he had as well. All simply from clicking on a link in an email.
Yeah, it's so easy to do, because sometimes you have, like, you're a member of a Telegram group, and you get a message, and you can see the group is, or they used to add me. I've stopped that now, but they had like 50,000 members, and you thought it was genuine, and no, not.
Yeah.
Maybe I should become a crypto scammer. It's definitely brings in more money than my job does.
Well, it's certainly a growth market, and the amount of sales of ransomware is going up. The software to do it, but you're right, there is so much of it around, and I think some people do make a lot of money out of it. And it'd be great if we could think of ways of avoiding it. But the main thing seems to be education, of just teaching people the typical hacks and how to avoid them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hope that people pick up on that.
And I'm absolutely going to stay away of anything Ethereum, because first of all, it cost me, it's cost me thousands now just to partake in an IDO that might earn me $100 in the end. So it's not worth it. But even unstaking anything, everything is so expensive on Ethereum. It's just ridiculous.
Is that because of the gas fees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I put them really low so that it takes a bit longer, and then
So stay away from that. So
I stay away.
Do you watch out for any IDOs lately?
Well, the ones I do, all the Bluezilla projects, and they tend to go really well. And there's one where I got a very small guaranteed allocation, and I'm happy with that. $8 to turn $8 into 1,500. That's if that happens once every 2 months, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
The other ones are all, I don't have enough of those tokens. It's lottery based, and on the Ethereum wallet, the ETHPad launchpad, I was whitelisted, and I got $60 worth. But that's why I got hacked, because I didn't even have enough ETH in my wallet to participate, and by transferring that, and
Okay.
But no, I would have liked to do some of the other launch pads, like I think Polka Starter, but I'm just missed out on it. It was too expensive by the time I started.
So probably for anyone else who's watching this afterwards, how do you find out about these? Do you have a favorite website that you tend to check out?
I follow two YouTubers, really.
Okay.
And
who are they? Who are they?
Superman and Joe, whatever his name is, Crypto Joe. I don't know, but they kind of, I know they're paid by the venture capitalists, so they are promoting it. But these tokens usually do well.
Okay.
I have to say.
Who was it? It was Zipperman, did you say?
So, Superman, he teaches courses on crypto, on reading charts, etc. So a lot of people then start watching his YouTube videos.
Okay.
And he's probably, I don't know why he still needs to do those YouTube videos, because he's probably a billionaire by now. Okay. If he purchased all he promised, he said he was going into, he would be a multi-millionaire by now.
So tell me how you spell that, because I'll put it up on the group.
Suppoman. So first of all, when I started, before I did anything, I did a course on how the blockchain works and everything. So I didn't go in completely blind. And he was the one who taught the course. He's living somewhere in Kent, I think, or London or Croydon, somewhere.
Okay, so I'll just pull that up for people to take a look at that on screen for a minute. So
yeah, but all these projects that are you know, introduced. Yeah, he's the one. It always has like a face like
Yep.
yeah.
Well, this is it. Occasionally for the YouTube tags for this, I'll occasionally do a thing which is like,
yeah, exactly. But this, yeah, if you take a 0 out of all these things, then it's accurate. But going, you know, 10 times your value is still quite good.
okay.
But he's usually right. I have to say he's usually right.
So there we
I
go.
just don't have the funds to participate in most of these ideas.
Okay. So there you go. So Suppleman. And who's the
Supplement
other one?
and oh God.
You say Joe somebody?
Oh, somewhere. Let me just. I have to, because I'm on my iPad, so I kind of have to. I can send you on the Telegram page.
Yep.
I can send you a link. Yeah. So I'm totally into the metaverse. I think that's the future. Anything metaverse, I'm absolutely so keen on. So my next idea where I have a guaranteed allocation is Meta VPET, which is a launch pad for the metaverse, and that is, I know that's going to do well.
Okay.
So
do they have a website on that? Do you know?
Think so. Well, you can see them on Twitter as well. If you type in Bluezilla on Twitter, then all their projects, they have a calendar with IDOs, and they say exactly which launch pad you need to stake on and how much you need to stake. And then if you have a guaranteed allocation or a lottery allocation.
Okay. Well, let's just take a look at that as well.
Yeah.
I've got that on Twitter here. So take a look.
They went from really small to really, really, yeah. So that's incubated. So they incubate on Cardano, on Pulse now, Pulse Chain, which isn't even out yet, I don't think. Vilas Chain. So they've got Vilas Pets, and a lot of their projects are in the top 30.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've got all of them, but only very small amounts on all of their launch pads. And when you stake, you actually earn. So on Vilas pad, I earn Vilas, and sometimes it's like $20-30 a week, and that's just worth it. For me, that's worth it.
Okay. It's as I say to some people, it's sometimes not a matter of putting in large amounts, but just regularly putting in small type things is definitely the thing.
But yeah, you just buy a token, it goes up in price, you stake it, you earn sometimes the same token, so you stake more. So I used to have BSC pad, which I sold at the wrong time because it went up. I got ETH pad, ADA pad, Vilas pad, Swap, Swaggy Swap, Tron pad, but only $5, NFT launch,
all of these then.
Identity actually not Bit or Bit, and Meta VPET is the one I'm looking forward to. I don't have Astro Swap. So that's the one I look most forward to.
Okay.
Because it's,
sounds
good.
So I now have the quandary of whether I take your suggestion on that because you think it's really good, or should I do exactly as I said before?
Sell.
Now do the opposite.
The thing is because you buy in the pre-sale, it's a very low market cap. It's never ever, none of these projects have made a loss in the long run. If you buy the moment it's on a DEX, on Pancake Swap, it goes up so high. If you then buy it, then you lose out. So that's what I used to do. And then I thought, well, damn, I need to get in at the pre-sale. And you get like a couple of thousand tokens for a couple of dollars. And at one point, those tokens are worth 10-20 cents. And
it all adds up, doesn't it?
It all adds up. The only thing is it's difficult to sell them because I think you have to have high gas fees, because also when you sell at certain points, they charge, because it's deflationary, they charge a high fee, which is then reallocated to all the stakers. So the best thing to do is just hold on to it.
Okay. Interesting one to check out. So take a look at that. And anyone, so we've got a Meta VPad, which is interesting.
Coming out.
Yeah. Good
and
one.
the cheapest way to get it is via NFT launch, because you can have a guaranteed allocation for about $3,000 already. Oh, look, we have Peter.
Hey, Peter's joined us. Hey, Peter.
Hi.
How's it going, Peter? So Peter's multitasking here. Not only is he on the call, he's also on his phone buying and selling real time.
Not quite. Just talking out and stuff, well, messages, etc.
We've just been talking about some of the new IDOs that are coming through. We're looking at Meta VPad, with it all being metaverse related, which is the thing of late. But
previously, the first half an hour was about me being hacked and having lost most of my tokens that were in my wallet. So
if anyone's watching the recording of this afterwards and they'd like to learn some really useful lessons about what not to do and what to do.
Yeah,
definitely. What's going on in your world then, Peter? Anything exciting on Cryptoverse?
Just the usual, really. Okay, have you guys heard much about DeFi 2.0?
No.
Not greatly.
Yeah, I've not had time to read up on it yet.
Okay. Is that just a new buzz phrase following up from Web3, or what's DeFi 2.0?
It's kind of more clever kind of incentive design, so that instead of people owning the liquidity in these staking pools, the protocol owns them, and so it's intended to make the kind of liquidity more stable instead of jumping about from platform to platform.
Okay, so it's just an algorithmic way of stabilizing the price.
Well, it's done via kind of token design as well. I mean, I haven't had time to kind of read it, but apparently it's a bit more complicated than kind of just staking and you get a reward. Though at the moment, the rates you can get are pretty ridiculous on kind of the protocol which it's on.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called.
I remember something a while ago, because certainly people were looking at doing stable coins where they were matched against assets, all done algorithmically. And they were doing that by having liquidity pools. So rather than having like bid offer and seller, they were managing it through liquidity pools. I can't remember how they were doing it. So maybe that was connected in some way. Right. So, stuff to go and read up about, I guess, then.
It's kind of separate from that.
Okay.
It is a relatively recent thing, but I can't seem to kind of find the message where it was sent to me.
Don't click on any links.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Peter, about phishing attacks and people clicking on links and emails and Telegram messages and that.
Yeah, Olympus is the project.
What was that again?
Olympus.
So Gary, what tokens are you most into? Are you just a Bitcoin, Ethereum kind of guy?
I tend to stick to the main ones. I don't actively trade at the moment.
No, I don't.
But what I tend to do is I just look at what's going on in the market, really. And what I found fairly consistently is, even if you buy into altcoins, over time, Bitcoin still outperforms all of them.
Yeah.
Ethereum's having a really good run at the moment, where I've noticed that Bitcoin has retraced. So was it last week where it hit $68,000? It's down to about 57,000 at the moment. So it's dropped quite a lot. And Ethereum dropped, but I don't think by anywhere near as much. I think when I was looking at the numbers. Peter, is this the Olympus that you were talking about? Olympus DAO?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a load of stuff locked in there.
There
you go. It's an algorithmic currency one, so I was about right on that. On the OHM token. Okay. Yeah, but just going back onto Bitcoin, I guess. It's been interesting. looking at the way that's been settling down. I mean, Peter, again, you tend to look at the numbers with greater detail than many others because you're looking at volume type data and that, aren't you? As well as other indicators. But it's just taking a look at how it's been doing from it. It had this peak at, it was prior to that really, it was 66 and then down. And then
that's where I bought some. No, I'm kidding. I do think I influenced the price of Bitcoin though, somehow.
Yeah, Peter, we've come to the conclusion that what we need to do is listen to whatever Ellen's doing and do the opposite.
Yeah.
But then I think everyone feels the same.
Yeah.
It kind of goes on there.
There's such a funny video where this really po-faced guy says, "Oh well, yeah, I bought some, and then the price went down, and then I posted it in Telegram. It's absolutely hilarious, and it's absolutely how I felt in the beginning.
Okay.
I got so annoyed with like, it goes down again. Oh, I quickly sell. Oh, it goes up again. It's so funny. It's absolutely. Oh, it goes down, but so I've bought some more, but it kept going down, so I sold it, and then it went up."
It sounds similar.
It's exactly how I felt.
I know a few people who do that kind of thing. That's where it comes back to sometimes the best strategy is to leave it alone, and come back to it a few weeks, months, or whatever later type thing. You know, I think everyone goes through a phase where they get really excited by all this, and that they're on the screens constantly watching the ups and downs and everything like that. Yeah. And actually, you're better off just leaving it for a few weeks and see what happens.
That's what I'm doing now. I remember when I first started, and I was obsessed because I'd learned about all these candles, and if that's kind of candle, it goes up, and you have to quickly buy, and it goes up like $1 or something stupid. Yep. And I had like, you know, the good thing about working from home in COVID is that you could actually have screens open with all your charts. Now I'm just completely ignoring it.
Yeah. But I like it as well when you get some of these pundits who come on and they're going, "Oh yeah, you know, this is a great example of a head and shoulders, and that, and this means this, and this means this," and then you go back and the next day, it's like, but what we didn't mention was that it was also a reverse anterior cruciate ligament doji, which means this, and that actually meant this, and we were right all along that we said you shouldn't buy this, and
but it's if you have the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart and the 1 hour chart, it's all completely different stories. So I just gave up on that. And how can people talk for an hour about charts and Bitcoin, and look, it's the same pattern we had in 2017, and so it's all going to go down in the bull market, and nonsense.
And then it doesn't.
No, but I guess the more people start dabbling, and I think a lot of, you know, the more and more people will start dabbling in crypto, just the more popular it's going to get, and the higher the prices will be. So just wait and see.
Well, I was on a panel in the States a few days ago, which was Bitcoin for bankers, which is quite interesting. It was kind of like an intro thing to the US banking community around crypto. And the other panelists who were on it were all coming up with the consistent message about how it is that there's lots of new people coming into the crypto space, getting exposure, and whether that's individuals or companies, you know, it's growing and growing. So if you think about the market cap of crypto as a whole at the moment, is about $3 trillion.
Yeah.
But they were saying that millennials and that kind of age group who are coming up to like the 30-year-old type thing, they have got something like $30 trillion in cash savings and whatever, where they don't really know what to do with it. They're not traditional investors, but they're not thinking about pensions, this kind of thing, but they are open to things like crypto. So if you think about all that money suddenly coming into crypto, that means the crypto market's going to be 10 times bigger than it was. Yeah. Which, you know, this theory about demand outstripping supply makes price go up.
Yeah, exactly. And probably for them, the only way to get on the housing market is to invest in crypto. The only thing is this, I probably need to, when I hit a certain amount, I will cash out some of it, and then you have to pay taxes. That's the only downside.
Yep. It's the way it goes, unfortunately. The tax person always gets involved at some point. So, yeah. Peter, have you been hearing anything else? Or, sorry, Ellen, what were you going to say?
No, I just wondered what the threshold is for the tax. So is there, if you cash out £1, do you still have to pay tax?
So in the UK, if you're a UK registered taxpayer, the way it works is if you were just doing it for your own personal trading and it's not a primary form of income, then you pay capital gains tax. Capital gains tax in the UK at the moment, you're allowed to make £12,000 per year, or just over £12,000 before you pay any capital gains.
Yeah. Okay.
And then once you hit that 12,000 threshold, you then pay capital gains tax, whatever that percentage is, on that excess. The thing to be mindful of, though, something that's really important, is in the UK at least, the obligation is also to maintain and keep complete records of all transactions. And this is where it becomes very, very difficult. So if you're doing something like you've bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, and then you've used that and you've put it onto Sushi Swap and you've done something, and then you've bought Ethereum, and then every single transaction becomes a taxable event. So if you've bought Bitcoin, that's a taxable event. So you should work out what the mark to market value of the Bitcoin was compared to the pound. Then if you use the Bitcoin to buy Ethereum, then that's another taxable event. So you should work out what pound equivalents are on that. Then if you use that Ethereum and you do some staking or whatever, then you do. So so in theory, every single transaction that you make, you should keep a record of in some way. It might actually be that you've bought Bitcoin and then you've bought Ethereum, but Ethereum's gone down in price. Then you've bought something else and that's gone down in price. And then when you translate it all back again, you might actually have made a loss. So there's no net tax liability. But overall, there is this whole thing. This is why a lot of people now, I think, are using software to actually track all their transactions and to actually produce the tax records for them.
And that's only if you go over the 12,000 cashing out.
Well, no, you don't even need to cash out. This is a lot of people think it's only at the point at which you go back to fiat that you're taxed. So this is where it's quite horrific. And in the States, it might actually be even worse. In the States, they're proposing, and it hasn't gone through yet, that you could be taxed on unrealized gains. And this is not just for crypto. This is for any form of capital. So, I mean, whether that's going to work or not, because what that could mean is that in the States, if I understand what they're trying to do with some of the legislation, is if you buy a house and that house over 5 years goes up by $500,000 in value, you then have a tax liability, even though you've not sold the house.
Yeah, oh gosh.
And that's kind of crazy, because what it then means is that you've got a tax liability with no revenue to pay the tax.
No, that's wrong.
Exactly. So whether that gets through or not, and I saw some comments the other day that I think whoever's trying to get that through the US regulators really has not thought it through. And that would apply to all assets. So that would include crypto, but many other things. So I don't know. So
I hope it applies to that hacker as well.
Yeah, it's madness. So Peter, anything else going on? Well, you're just looking at the DeFi 2.0 stuff.
Just not had time to look into it. I mean, always need to read everything that's happening in terms of kind of what's it called, crypto regulatory proposals as well. I mean, they're kind of a lot better than they were back in April, but I've not had time to kind of read a summary yet.
I saw some proposals for European regulation the other day. Whether I'm trying to remember where that was coming from, and also about potentially things like smart contract regulation, which is quite strange. I always get nervous when regulators start talking about trying to regulate smart contracts, because in effect what they're trying to regulate is computer programs, and they've never done that before, and I'm not sure that they should. So have you been looking at particular regulators in some way then?
I mean, it's more the kind of overall kind of frameworks, kind of mostly the kind of international organizations, FSB, CB, FATF, etc. Because the biggest thing has been, around kind of how kind of they should regulate kind of DeFi. And the proposals now seem to be a lot better than what they were, but I've not had time to kind of look through it much.
Well, it's funny, we were talking about some of that on the Bitcoin banking panel the other day, because you got the whole thing that you got things like, as you say, FATF and FinCEN, which mainly they're around money laundering and 5MLD or 6MLD even, and things like sanctions and that kind of thing. But you're right, there's a lot of regulators taking an interest in this space. It's funny as well, because the panel I was with the other day, we're all talking about working with the regulator. And I said, hang on, in the States, there's at least 13 federal regulators who are interested in crypto. Then you've got things like FATF, which is a global type agreement. And then you've got state level regulators as well. So what the New York regulators thinking versus Wyoming versus California, all this kind of thing. It's crazy kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that regulation is just not able to keep up anyway with crypto developments. But part of the problem is that they're also trying to put in place some regulations where they don't fully understand what it is they're regulating. So we'll see. DeFi, I think, is the one that's beginning to worry them now, as they can see the potential for that effectively creating a new financial system or a new banking system. But we'll see on that.
Yeah.
Well, things to watch out for then. If there's nothing else going on, we might just finish a few minutes early tonight.
Yep.
That'll be good. But as always, thank you, particularly Ellen. Thank you at the beginning of this for sharing
and Millie.
Ellen Millie.
Yeah.
That is one evil-looking cat.
No, she's not.
But yeah, thanks for both coming on anyway.
Yeah. And I hope if anyone listens and they don't make the same mistake that I did. So if I can save anyone else from being hacked, then it's worth it.
I think that's exactly it. And that's why I always say to people, listen to the lessons of the mistakes of other people, because you don't have enough time to make all your own mistakes. And in the crypto world, there's a lot of mistakes to be made, definitely. So, hopefully for some people that'll be of value. Okay. So that'll be great. Thanks for your help. Have a great day. Have a great week, folks. So there we have it, folks. Hopefully that was some useful insights into what can go wrong with crypto at times. So phishing attacks, hacking attacks, fake emails. Don't share your seed phrase over email. Some really useful lessons. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribing already. If you didn't like it, come along to a future session. We run these every Sunday, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. UK time. Come along, join in. Everyone's welcome. Until next time, bye for now.